The iconic James Bond films have always ended with the same promise: James Bond will return. But after Daniel Craig's emotional final bow in No Time to Die in 2021, the future of the franchise became uncertain. A year later, Amazon purchased MGM, the company behind the 007 films, leaving us on edge. Since then, we've heard little from the world of Bond. But all that changed last Thursday. Amazon announced they would take full creative control of the legendary spy series, with longtime producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson stepping back. This major shift has sparked a whirlwind of speculation about the future of Bond, and a lot of people are divided. Some are excited about the potential for fresh ideas, while others mourn the end of an era. What's clear is that Amazon's approach to Bond will be far from business as usual. For decades, Broccoli and Wilson have been the guardians of the Bond franchise, curating the direction of the films and ensuring the brand stayed true to its roots. But now, with Amazon at the helm, they must let go. And it feels like the end of a royal dynasty.
It means a little bit of nostalgic sadness for a lot of fans, a lot of moviegoers, because as you said, they've run the dynasty for 63 years. This was a family-run business.
Creator of the Bond Experience YouTube channel, David Zaritsky, says,
"This was a bloodline. This is something almost like royalty. If you're supporting royalty, and somebody moves and shifts away and changes, you tend to get upset because of the potential change that can happen."
Amazon's involvement with Bond inevitably raises comparisons to other major franchises that underwent similar shifts. Take Star Wars. When George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney in 2012, fans were unsure how the franchise would fare. Disney quickly began production, rolling out a sequel trilogy and numerous spin-offs. While some welcomed the surge in content, others felt the franchise became creatively diluted. A Bond historian, Lancelot Narayan, warns that Amazon's rapid expansion of the Bond brand could lead to the same outcome. The risk of overexpansion is very real. Star Wars has become creatively redundant, and the Marvel universe is starting to feel overwhelming. While it's easy to look at Marvel and Star Wars as cautionary tales, Amazon wants to make its mark. They're pushing for faster production and more content, something Bond hasn't seen in years. The last Bond film came out in 2021, and the void has felt like an eternity for many. There's pressure to get something out, and fast. One of the hottest topics since Amazon took control is the potential for spin-offs. Look at the success of Cruella and Wonka in recent years, both origin stories of famous characters. Amazon seems to be eyeing similar territory. Could we see origin stories for Bond villains like Jaws, Oddjob, Blofeld, or Goldfinger? The potential is huge. The Bond universe is rich with characters who could carry their own spin-offs. While some fans like Zaritsky believe Amazon will focus on the core characters, others worry the brand could become overexploited. The recent 007 Road to a Million game show, a poorly received project from Amazon, has raised concerns that Bond could lose its prestige. With Amazon's deep pockets and vast reach, it's possible they'll try to reposition Bond for a younger, more diverse audience. Derek Bond points out that the original films are very much of their time, and it might be necessary to reinvent the character to resonate with today's audiences. But that's no small feat. James Bond has always been a symbol of British masculinity, class, and tradition. Could Amazon make significant changes that preserve what makes Bond special without alienating fans? The question of who will take over as the next 007 is a hot topic. There's no official word yet, but Broccoli's previous statement suggested Bond could be any race, though the character would remain male. That sentiment could change now that Broccoli has stepped back, with many speculating that Amazon may look for someone who appeals to a broader global audience. This is a delicate balance to strike, as any major changes to the character's identity could provoke backlash from both purists and newcomers. It's not just the casting of the next Bond that's up in the air. Amazon will need to make big decisions on how to move forward with the franchise as a whole. Do they stick to the traditional formula that makes Bond a global icon, or do they overhaul it to capture a new demographic? But Amazon will likely be aware that Bond still makes enormous amounts of money as it currently stands. A drastic overhaul might not be in the cards just yet. That said, expect Amazon to move quickly, perhaps even with merchandise or fan outreach as an early step. Whatever comes next, it's clear that James Bond is entering a new era. one where the stakes are higher than ever. For now, the wait continues. We may not know who the next 007 will be, but one thing's certain. With Amazon at the helm, the game has changed.